Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Graphic Word Podcast, here to connect nerd culture to faith and leveling up our lives as we go about it. Thanks for tuning in, and here's what we have in store for you today. Legacy of Obedience, Green Arrow and Manoah. I've been sitting in the book of Judges, if you haven't noticed from the last two articles, and I found one spot that gave my head a tilt. You know that moment you're seeing or reading something that makes you think a little bit extra? Yeah, that's the one. Reading through Judges in a bigger perspective, you see the swirling downward quality in the judges or rescuers of Israel and the shortening of the times of peace that followed after them. But then you get a rest from it in Judges 13. There's this guy, Manoah, who has a wife that has been unable to have a child, which the angel of the Lord, this is potentially Jesus popping up in the Old Testament, and says that they are going to have a son who is going to be a Nazarite, basically a hardcore devoted person for God living differently than others. What I love most is the response from Manoah. He simply asks, when your words come true, what kind of rules should govern the boy's life and work? That's found in Judges chapter 13, verse 12. Do you see that? In the midst of setback after setback in leadership and commitment to staying the course with God in partnership, Manoah, by the way, his name means place of rest, like a rest from the bad characters, just follows what is told of him. He is so honoring to God that after realizing they talked to the angel of the Lord, he was worried that he and his wife were going to be struck dead for talking to God directly. What a guy! Sadly, as you probably have guessed it, or know the rest of the story, his son Samson is one of the worst judges of Israel. Samson is a drunkard. He hung out with the wrong crowd, didn't follow the guides of his lifestyle as a Nazarite. He was one really cocky, messed up dude. It's hard to see from what was such an awesome example in Manoah was not being followed up with Samson's life. The only bit of hope you see in Samson taking his father's legacy of obedience to God was in his dying wish to have enough strength to defeat his enemies, the oppressors of Israel. I bet Oliver Queen, aka Green Arrow, can understand some of the frustration that Manoah had with Samson with his own ward, Speedy, or Arsenal. Not to say that Green Arrow is the ultimate example of a hero, but he is pretty observant of the world around him and the needs of people that he is attempting to help. Oliver's heart is typically in the right place, and he takes in a ward who has seen some pretty rough stuff to help guide him on the right path, as well as to join in his fight. Though Speedy is trained by Green Arrow, he still is quick-tempered and a bit stubborn to do things on his own. At different points, Speedy makes mistakes. Drug addiction, going alone in fights, etc. But Green Arrow's heart still holds on to hope for him. Eventually, Speedy becomes Arsenal and teams up more with Team Arrow. It's not perfect, but you see Arsenal learning from his mistakes and looking to rectify them and live more of a life that reflects his mentor's heart. At least Green Arrow got to see Arsenal choose to live his legacy that he was training in him as a youngster. How are you living like Green Arrow and Manoah? That is, intentionally leaving an impact on those around you. Who around you is demonstrating a legacy you want to leave behind for others to aspire to? Ask them to mentor you and start the chain reaction of change for a better world. Hey there. If you are a fan of the content that's been brought to you in this episode, you'll definitely want to check out our social media connections. That's on Instagram, Facebook, and even TikTok. Just go to @GW and you'll be able to find all the stuff that we've been doing lately and all the fun stuff that we get to be a part of. But if you want an even deeper dive, you should join our Discord community. And you can do that by going to discord.io/GWNerdsUnite and be a part of what we're doing. Interact with us, chat with us on live for our video game nights, for our Bible study nights, or even just to connect with fellow gamers, nerds, and what interests you. And if we want to take it even a step further, if you've got some ideas of, what would be cool topics to bring up down the road, or have some questions on how your nerdom might connect to faith, we'd love to have your input there on our Discord channel too, to be able to create the content for you guys, because this is what we're here for, to invest in nerds, to grow and level up together, but being able to grow in our faith and level up too. So thank you again for listening. Hope you are having a wonderful day.